そうなのAlright.
That was dope, man. Good job. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Alright. Thank you, Aaron. I need... So let's see here. Yeah. So welcome back to Yin and Yang, the podcast. Let's see here. And we are recording now. And then Aaron and okay, so it's Young, James here, and then Dan, you there?
Yep, it's Yin. Dan here.
All right, and we've got who we got here?
Aaron, aka Fish. But I guess for this podcast, I could be coy. You know, coy fish. We're gonna do the yin and yang thing.
Are you guys? By the way.
So what's up? Today. Thanks for coming on, Aaron. It was a little, I just wanted to, circle back about some of the top topics we talked about in the first episode with you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could kind of expand on, and also, I don't know, some
Guest of the Year episode. Is that what you're talking about?
Was that
the Guest of the Year episode?
Yeah. You were one of our top podcasts for a while.
Oh, for real?
For real. Yeah.
Cool.
At the time when you came out, you were the top podcast. Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
So, something that Dan and I have been talking about recently, and I kind of wanted your input on was, it's like sparring, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like kickboxing.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, actually, I have a good subject about this too.
Okay, yeah. So today's podcast, we'll see where it goes, but I kind of want to start out with martial arts, and I've been going to that gym recently I was telling you about, and I was sparring with some guys, and I was pretty confident because I have some martial arts background, and I know body movement fairly all right, and I was like taking I was able to protect my head and able to get guys with some shots. And then there's this one kid, he's like in his early 20s.
Has something to prove?
He was just kind of lanky, good, very athletic looking. And he was getting me, right?
Yeah.
But he wasn't like ego about it. He was just pretty like, maybe he's a little rough around the edges though. It wasn't like refined technique. It was kind of like
I see. Kind of like like his technique just wasn't there. Like he hadn't been sparring long enough.
He hasn't been. Yeah. And I asked him, dude, you're pretty good, man. You're getting me some shots. And he's like, I've been only doing it for a month.
Yeah. Oh, so he's raw.
And I was like
that.
I've been doing martial arts since high school, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't done that much sparring until fairly recently.
Mm-hmm.
But still, for him to say that to me, I was just like, damn. And this goes back, Dan, to our last talk about talent versus like
effort,
natural talent versus effort, right?
Mm-hmm.
And these animes, right?
Yeah.
They're like there's this
he's the chosen one.
He's the chosen one.
Yeah.
But there's the other guy like Rock Lee or whatever. Now he's like working hella hard, but he still can't get to that. So I don't know. And Dan, you made some good points, and I want to hear Aaron's take on this. But yeah, Dan, what were some of the points you told me about? Yeah.
There are always going to be like once in a lifetime or once in a generation type of fighters in whatever martial art it is, and they are not only they have the passion for the martial art, but they have the talent. So I think my grandmaster is one of those people. He's just like a once in a generation guy, loves it from the very beginning, loves to teach it, loves to do it, lives and breathes it, and he's talented at it. I mean, he has to be able to see things as not just talented for like learning the different forms, but talented in the fighting parts of it. And I think that's what we were talking about last episode. Like, some people just love it so much, and they think that that's all. You just need a lot of passion, and you'll just get to like the 99th percentile. But I was like, nah, I've sparred against a lot of people, and I've seen a lot of people. You just enjoy the fight.
Yeah.
And I think that talent has a lot. People are just more naturally gifted at certain things.
Yeah, I mean. So. Yeah, that does go a long way, but I hope no one listening gets deterred to be like, I'll never be that great. Always strive for it. But it's like the same thing where like not everybody can be a doctor, I don't think.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like everybody just has like a natural skill set that either fits or it doesn't fit to something, and you just gotta like play to your strengths after a certain while.
Like,
you know
what's your personal experience? Like, did you take to striking or jiu-jitsu pretty naturally, you thought?
Honestly, I feel like I take to jiu-jitsu a lot more natural than I do to striking. Just because, I don't know, like my body frame and stuff just seems like it fits more with jiu-jitsu. I don't know, like I have like a long torso and like stubby arms and legs, which I guess long arms would, be cool in jiu-jitsu, but I don't know, like, I mean, since I'm also like 6'1", 6'2" on a good day, but I have short arms, it kind of like, it doesn't translate well to striking, you know what I mean? Like, I have a high center of gravity, but at the same time, like, I need to be coming in close to strike effectively. But at the same time, I'm sure like a lot of fighters would listen to this and be like, "Oh, you're just making excuses."
Right.
So I mean, at the same time, hard work. There's that saying where like hard work beats talent when talent refuses to work hard.
Okay.
But what happens when talent does work hard?
You're fucked.
Exactly. You know what I mean?
Like you get guys like Anderson Silva, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that guy you were talking about. He has like raw. Unrefined potential, but once you have like refined potential, and you like get it concentrated, then it's like a diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? Before that, he's just coal.
He's kind of And what was interesting was that after I got like it's interesting. This young kid is only like a month in or whatever, but he's been watching UFC since he was like a young teenager, right?
And I'm sure maybe when he says like, "Oh, I've only been here for a month," he probably means like he's been in that gym for a month.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm sure like him and his friends
messed around.
Like like they wrestle and stuff.
Sure,
like they try to do what they see. They look up YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So like a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I've been doing this for only a month." I think they say that to like impress people. But I'm sure like at the same time, he's probably like been like messing or like delving into messing around with it, delving into the subject I'm sure for years. Like you said, he's been watching it for years, and just to watch something, like you pick it up here and there.
Like, do you ever practice visualization things? Yeah.
Like, I mean, even with jiu-jitsu, like to get a technique down, you can't read it. You can't read what steps to take. You have to at least see a YouTube video if you want to learn a technique. So it's like one thing, like visual stimulation for like those kinds of things.
Because I wonder, like for him, like there's something to be said about like watching something and kind of incorporating it. There's some guys who can watch something once and they fucking like they can do like at least the rough estimate of what form or whatever technique it is. And like those guys are like pretty, like for me for jiu-jitsu, like I have to watch it a couple times, like it takes me a little bit, but I think I'm better than most, I guess, like at this point, but I've been doing it for a little bit. I mean, Dan, do you have anything about that?
Yeah, not
visualization.
Yeah, some people just
or
visualization is always important whenever you're doing martial arts. I always teach that when you're doing even forms that you have to visualize like striking something. It's the whole thing about doing things with intent.
Yeah.
So everything in martial arts you have to do it with intent, otherwise it doesn't serve a purpose. And it goes back to acting too, right? Acting and singing. Okay. When the actor does it, they kind of get into that moment, right? What's the motivation for doing that scene or saying those lines? And singers have to sing with the idea that they're expressing the feelings of the words on the page. So everything has to be done with intent.
Yeah, no, and you can tell sometimes when the acting's bad or whatever. It's kind of like the intention's like muddled, or like it's not clear, right?
Yeah.
And I've had that when I acted in some scenes or did some improv. Because what's interesting is that you could be clear on your intent, but you could be smart about how you approach it, right? So like, so this going to acting and fighting. So like if you throw a punch with full intent, right? That doesn't mean you're telegraphing, right? Or it doesn't mean you overextend yourself. It just means that you want your intent is to like knock this fool out. But how you go about that, you could be smart about it. Maybe you feint and then you do the one and then you throw the two. I mean, but all of that is part of the intention, right? Like the faking. Basically, the ultimate goal is to defeat your enemies.
Right.
And one thing I've been and you were telling me something that was really interesting is like maybe I'm just in my middle ground, like the transition phase, right? You know how like when people learn stuff, whatever skill it is, there's like that kind of beginner spurt, right? Like if they have some talent, there's like this kind of spurt of like, whoa, I'm learning a lot, I'm getting kind of good at it. And then there's that kind of plateau where it's like, oh shoot, I have all these tools now, like wait, what do I focus on? And you get kind of muddled, I think, and then after more and more years of refinement, Dan, actually, can you speak about this? I think you're better. You said it much more clearer than I was. But like, it's kind of like the master and you're saying something about the master and the person who's starting out. They operate on the same kind of level, right?
Right. So a master and a beginner fight the same way. They fight on instinct. They just do it. They don't think about it. And someone who is learning things and learning techniques, if they're like on the transition after they've learned a lot of things, they're advanced past the beginning stages. Now they're kind of thinking about things too much. The techniques will not come out naturally. Not until they've done it millions of times or thousands of times where it becomes part of their being that, you're going to punch this way or, everything feels natural. And that's what practice is all about. And that goes back to the Malcolm Gladwell thing. You have to put in the effort or put in the time before things become really good, before you become really good at something, right? So that's just the way it is.
Yeah, so you mean like you got to practice enough to where it like in a real life or in a real scenario, you do it without thinking about it. It all just becomes like instinct almost. Yeah, exactly, like what you said, instinct, where you don't think about throwing a punch this way, it just goes into it. And I think what you guys were talking about too is that when you say like at the beginning it goes off of instinct, and then after a while like it starts to get muddled because they overthink. It's kind of like like they come into it with their glass full already. Okay. Like someone comes into jiu-jitsu for the first time, not knowing anything. That first class, they learn a lot that first class.
Oh, for sure.
And then they go home, they look it up.
Yeah.
And then they come back to class the next day like, oh, can you show me this? Can you show me this? Like their cup has been filled with all this information that they want to learn.
Yeah.
That they can't fill it up anymore with anything else.
Oh, you know what I mean?
Okay. Like they have to empty it.
They have to digest it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to come in with like a clear mind.
Empty it or digest it, and then like okay.
Exactly.
And it's interesting, like rolling with like newer white belts. I'm a more seasoned white belt now, but rolling with them, like I can, like they can get me in these weird ass holds, and I'm like just on their pure athleticism, right?
Yeah.
They can get me in these like this really funky, not right guillotine. So I'm not gonna tap, but I'm like, damn it, I'm kind of stuck.
And they're just like a veins like popping out the side of their neck.
Yeah, and they're trying so hard, and I'm just like chilling, and like it's not comfortable, but like I'm not expending energy, and they're expending like so much.
Yeah.
And that seems to be a pattern for the newbies.
Well, that like when that happens, and when I was like a white belt, and I still roll with white belts.
Yeah.
Everybody rolls with white belts. Once they start to do that, you kind of have to like recognize it and understand that, dude, that it's almost kind of like they're spazzing out. You know what I mean? Like you got to be able to be like, hey man, like I get where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Like slow it down. Be more thoughtful about what you're doing right now. Don't freak out. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You got this guillotine, but do you really know what you're doing with this guillotine?
Right, they're like cranking on my neck. I'm like, dude,
exactly, because you're either gonna hurt me or yourself. One of those two things is gonna happen because you're not gonna get the submission.
Right.
But either I'm gonna get hurt and you're gonna get, and neither of us want that, especially me. I don't want either of us to get hurt. So
yeah,
you kind of got to recognize that and make sure you take care of it.
But I sometimes I get down on myself like, damn, wait, how, if I'm good enough, I shouldn't even get caught in that kind of weird position. But because I'm not a master level yet, like I'm still in the transition phase, I'll get caught in it, but I'm good enough where I can breathe. Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess you can't necessarily say. I think you're just being too hard on yourself.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you can't necessarily say you're getting caught in it because you didn't get caught.
I mean, I'm not tapping. I mean, like,
Exactly.
I know how to like get my hand in or
Exactly.
whatever.
So they didn't catch you yet. Like even when you go against like a blue belt versus a blue belt,
Okay.
there'll be times when, to your definition, they've been caught, air quotations, but they're not. The submissions hasn't been in yet.
Yeah.
So technically, they're not caught.
Right.
Being caught in its realest sense means you got tapped.
Okay.
So I think maybe since you know to get out, kind of shows your ability in jiu-jitsu that, like they're not able to tap you out with it. So.
Right. Okay. Like, Dan, have you done any grappling? You did some judo, right?
I did some judo at Tenri.
Yeah,
This
right.
is pretty fun. Yeah, I also did at the Pasadena JCC, the Japanese Cultural Center.
How, like, did you
That
naturally...
place-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
Your
did you
question
naturally
was-
take to grappling, or you're more of a striker, or...
I prefer striking, but I used to do a lot of moving step push hands, and that
Oh, right.
actually helps with grappling.
Right, that's the stuff I
Not so
kinda
much like the
appreciate.
techniques. Not so much with the techniques, because I did learn some really cool things from like this Italian dude who just came to Tenri and showed us some really cool techniques that I think are really applicable. I don't know if everyone knows those techniques, but there's some really cool stuff. I didn't
Hip
like.
toss or like you're talking about like hip
No.
tosses or throwing
Mm-mm.
suplex.
He was showing us how like how when someone turtles, like go on their knees and crouches down and face down.
Yeah.
He showed us how to actually choke them out when they're doing that. It was
when
pretty
they're-
cool.
Oh, when they're turned around and on their knees.
They're on their knees and they're like just like curled up into a ball,
Yeah.
like face down.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's a way you
like
could-
turtle position.
Oh, turtle position. Okay.
Yeah. There's a way to choke them out, and it's pretty funny. It's
Oh,
just
yeah.
the way he does it. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a way to just use a gi,
Yeah.
and just like it's very easy. And just like
Oh,
you
might
can actually
be,
open them up.
Do you like grab the lapel of it?
Yeah, you have to grab the lapel, and then you kind of like swing your left leg around, and you like pull them out of it, and it's pretty fun.
It's kind of like
I
a
don't know.
bow
I
and
haven't-
arrow or like a Peruvian necktie.
Okay, I don't know
Yeah.
that second
Oh,
one,
okay.
but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So you mentioned briefly you had a story.
Yeah, well, it wasn't necessarily a story. It was more of like a topic because there's like a strong belief in some jiu-jitsu programs, and I've been like debating this so much with one of my friends and like a couple other jiu-jitsu guys. But there's like a strong belief that a lot of schools do this, traditional schools, where they don't let white belts roll until they become a blue belt.
What?
Yeah.
How do you become a blue belt then? I mean,
I guess like based on like technique and understanding, having
Okay.
the fundamentals down. But for me, like the way I look at it is like, do you really have an understanding if it's not applicable yet? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Like
You're right.
it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like in school where like, you could know the concepts, but you never take a test, so do you really know the concepts?
It's kind of like, like if you're a forever student, right? You ever hear this term? Like,
Yeah.
you're always, there's people who are like always in school, taking classes, but never really, but that's kind of like their safety blanket. They don't want to go out to the professional world
Yeah.
or whatever, but like for these white belts, yeah. Oh, I was pushing hands with this one guy, and it got me kind of mad. Basically, he kept letting me push him, right? And he's like, just push me, it's fine. And then I'm like, and then he told me after, okay, I just want to tell you, you have a lot of tension here. I'm like, okay. And I said, well, how come you always let me push you? He's like, oh, I'm not here for the competitive reasons. I'm here to, understand myself better and be more relaxed. I'm like, okay, but he didn't push me at all though. Like, he wasn't able to get me off balance at all, but he let me push him all the time. Now, that being said, there is an art about learning how to get submitted, how to get pushed. I mean, you can feel where it is and feel how you got pushed off balance or how you got choked, and you can learn from that. But at the same time, if you never put yourself out there and try to do it to another person, you're only learning like you're only seeing like half of the picture. You know what I'm saying? I mean, do you guys agree with that, or?
Yeah.
And well, I also thought that guy was just he didn't want to lose. Maybe I don't know. Loser.
So like that's your take on like the whole white belts never rolling till they're blue belts.
I think I think you should do light rolling. There's something to it though, because there's some white belts who need people
spaz out.
They spaz out. They need people in the head, like on accident. You know, quotation marks.
They're like first few months.
Yeah.
See, and that was like his that was his argument.
Sure,
you know?
sure. Yeah.
And like I know someone who doesn't do jiu-jitsu because he's kind of scared to jump into it, you know? It's like, well, first off, you know, if you're too scared to do something, like, then there's like other aspects that you need to take a look at, you know
Your
what I mean?
fear, yeah.
But also it's like, okay, if that's the case, you don't have to, it's never mandatory that you roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all voluntary.
It's never been mandatory that you roll. But to make it completely off the table, I think that's where it's like kind of like a mistake.
Yeah.
Not a mistake, but that's where I see like the fault in it, in the whole not letting white belts roll until they're blue belts. Because then, like, what are they doing? I mean, you know, like competitions have white belt divisions.
Yeah.
So what happens then?
They just have to wait till they're blue belt.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and you know, like they're going into a tournament and never knowing what that is, if they've only just drilled. And that school is, in a sense, to my understanding, just having their students constantly be at a disadvantage to any other school that allows their white belts to free train.
Right.
But the thing is, I got a question about that. I mean, do you know one of these schools?
I personally don't, but I heard that some Gracie schools do that.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, we have to know what blue belts are like, right?
Yeah.
The white belts are obviously going to be disadvantaged because they've never sparred, but you have to see what the ultimate effect is. So if their blue belts become like better than, or like on better than the other blue belts, then they might advocate like, well, you have to see what comes from doing it that way. It's a very old traditional way of doing things. I know lots of old school Japanese schools are like that. Like I tried Kyudo for a little bit, which is the art of like shooting a bow and arrow.
Nice.
With a longbow, Japanese longbow. But they wouldn't even let you touch a bow for like weeks and weeks, even forever. Versus like I took Kendo, and Kendo was like, you got to just like get your gear and let's go spar. So it's a different school of thought, but each one wants to make sure that they have a reason for it. My first kung fu school wouldn't even let people spar until they got to green sash, which is like 2 belts up, and it's primarily because they have to learn how to punch correctly and kick correctly, before they can actually just go and do it. And it's also about safety. I've sparred against white belts from a school, and you could totally tell that they were just uncomfortable. It's just like a level of comfort. If they know, some people are okay with just going and just rolling, right? Yeah. Other people are like, I don't know what I'm doing, so they kind of like panic and just like but just freeze up.
But get upset. Like you said, I mean, you make some very good points, and like you said, some people feel super uncomfortable, some people don't. I mean, but couldn't it just be those people who are uncomfortable just don't do it?
Well, the thing is, like, if as a teacher, you want to be able to reach everybody. Yeah. The mark of a teacher is not to make someone who's great or talented even better. The mark of a good teacher is to make someone who's like shit into like something awesome. Yeah. And there's a martial artist. There's a kung fu teacher in my old kung fu school. I heard when he first started, he was not very good.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I don't mean like don't do it, like go home and stay. I mean, just like don't do the sparring portion until they're ready. Like don't make it like you can't ever do it.
Like for your students, do you have that limitation? You say, hey, guys can't spar.
I don't, but the thing is, like, you have to, like, some people, I don't have that many students, right, to begin with, but if you have like 100 students, what percentage of like people who are comfortable and not comfortable from the very beginning? I think there's like a big percentage of people who, even with push-out, who are not comfortable from the very beginning. Say 40% are not comfortable. Well, then 40% out of like 100 students, like 40 students that can't do everything. So you might as well just start everyone at an even baseline. You just make them do like drill things over and over again until they're like understand like some set of tools that they can use in the sparring, in the hands. And then once everyone has that same baseline, then you can just like let them go.
Okay. Yeah, I guess there's some merit to that. But and if that's the case, like, like if they're not sparring, are they doing something like along the lines of it? Like drills, like live drills, situational drills?
Situational drills, all those things, right? But I'm not saying that they should never ever I think that the idea is just to get everyone to a certain level, right? Same basic level of like competence before they're like, okay, now everyone's starting from the same place. Versus like, if I'm very uncomfortable doing it and James is really comfortable rolling and I go against him, I'm like locking up. I'm like getting defeated and pushed around and like choked out all the time. I'm going to be very discouraged about coming back.
That's a good point. Like, some people, they need that kind of encouragement, or maybe they shouldn't jump into sparring or rolling right away. But then it's a mark of a good teacher who can kind of pinpoint these students, like, you know what, that student over there should probably do some more situational drilling before I throw him to like Shark Tank or whatever,
Right.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, like, if you start singling those people out, they're going to feel kind of weird, right, in your school. So if you just start everyone at the same baseline, it's like, okay, everyone's going to like, just do the same sort of techniques over and over again through situational things. And once they get, comfortable with like 10 different types of choke holds or whatever, submission holds, then you go, okay, now you can go ahead and start rolling.
Okay. So I mean, in your opinion, would you consider that, like in this scenario, would you consider like getting your blue belt or like any martial arts equivalent of a blue belt? Like you said, like with the other one, getting a green sash, would you consider that the official starting point, or would you still consider the starting point? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or would your starting point still be their first day?
When to start sparring is the question, I guess. Yeah.
When to start sparring, or when is it officially part of your journey, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So the official part of your journey is definitely from day one. Once you start learning how to punch or kick or like a submission hold, that's your day one. And then you're not going to like fight the same way. Like if you suppress everyone until they're a blue belt, they're not going to fight like a beginner. They're going to be like in that transitional phase, and they're going to just like see things, but they're not going to be instinctual about it. But I am like a big advocate of sparring though. Like regardless of whatever, you have to do it. There are certain systems that do not spar. There's one called Kung Fu Sansu. I know that all they do is techniques, and the reasoning is that their techniques are too deadly to use in a sparring situation. But if you don't ever spar, you don't see the distance that you need, the timing that you have to be, how to close in on someone when you actually strike or punch. And I don't believe in just techniques only.
Right.
That's really idiotic. Even if you can't use everything, you're not going to use eye gouges or punches to the groin or joint locks or kicking out people's knees, but at least you can use like some of your tools to use strategy to like develop, how am I going to get those things open? How am I going to strike the head? And if I strike the head, what else opens up?
Right. Have you heard of a technical blue belt?
No, what's that?
A technical blue belt, I don't know if that's the right word, but you know how there are like DVD box sets of like jiu-jitsu techniques?
Okay, yeah.
So you can like buy that DVD box set and you watch it, and then you record yourself doing a certain amount of techniques. You send it in, and then they mail you your blue belt.
Wow.
So yeah.
I do know this. That's distance learning. Yeah. And they have it in lots of different martial arts.
Yeah. So what do you think about the validity of that? Promotion.
I grew up in Shotokan karate. That's and traditional like teacher sensei passing down the information. So I do not believe in that, because I mean there's only so much you can tell from a video. There's some intricacies of like his breath, like how he has his body weight. Like, oh, he could have done the hold, but you could tell that if you were closer or in person, you could tell like he could have totally got swept, right?
And I think you have to put in like, you have to like mail in $40 with the DVD submission. So.
It's a money scam, I guess. Yeah. I mean, Dan, what do you think about that? Yeah.
it depends on what you're trying to get out of it, right? If you're like thinking I'm gonna get
like
a blue
how
belt
he's
and
like much more diplomatic about
He is.
it.
He is. No,
Well,
but he
the
does
thing
have
is,
a
yeah.
point. Yeah.
You have to think about what you're going to get out of it. Like if you're like doing wushu, right, those guys traditionally do not spar that I know of,
Yeah.
because wushu was
It's
built
about
on
forms.
like forms and forms
Dance.
competition,
Yeah.
performance. So
Performance,
if you're
I think,
like
yeah.
doing something more like that, or if you're even doing like tai chi, a lot of people who do tai chi these days do not do it for the combative arts. They just do it for health purposes.
Right.
They can actually get something out of it. But if you're talking about someone who's like a boxer, I'm gonna get my whatever it is, blue belt in boxing or blue belt in jiu-jitsu or blue belt in
I'm just
something
imagining
that's
someone-
based on combat, then
Yeah.
that's not gonna work out.
Yeah, I'm just imagining someone stepping into a ring and
Yeah.
be like, "Yeah, man,
I'm a technical boxer.
I've completed over 40 hours of simulated training." Man.
And who knows if they're if we're going back to our natural talent, if they have natural talent, maybe they're really good. Who knows? You mentioned something, boxing. Okay, I mean, something I worry about when I do sparring in striking, not so much jiu-jitsu, even though there's sometimes you get bumped in the head with like knees and stuff, but in like striking boxing or with kickboxing is getting hit in the head. And they talk about gym wars, right? Like there's an article on the Herald, I think it was on Herald Sun or whatever. There's an article talking about how a lot of trauma is not actually the fights itself, but
The training.
from the training,
Yeah.
bad training, like the guys getting hit in the head. And I don't know if you can like for your kickboxing, you've done a few smokers, right? Yeah, and like, do you worry about head trauma
Yeah.
or like and how do you balance that with like you want to spar though too, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, you need to get used to be getting hit in the face. You know what I mean?
There's a
like,
cost for that.
Yeah, but not in the sense like, I don't mean like get used to it like, oh, anybody can hit me in the face now. I mean like, you need to be in the ring. You need to get to a point where you're in the ring and you get hit in the face and it doesn't change your game plan, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because like someone who's just like going back to like someone who's never sparred before.
Yeah.
If you've never sparred before, all you've done is technique, all you've done is hit pads.
Yeah.
You step into a ring and you get hit once, boom, that changes everything. You have no idea, like, whoa, I got hit, this is what it's like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like you need to have like that sense of like knowing what it's like. That's what I mean. Like you got to be used to be getting hit. You know what I mean? But at the same time, a lot of like the big guys in the UFC or any kind of big mixed martial arts promotion, they say that they don't spar anymore.
No.
I mean, like they do like mitts and like they do like a couple like light stuff.
Yeah.
But like most of their sparring was like when they were like starting out in it. Not like
They don't spar anymore at all?
well, like very limited, very light. Like John Jones,
Yeah.
he said like he did an interview with Joe Rogan where he's like, man, if I leave with if I leave training with a headache, then I know I know like I'm mad. That's what he says. Like if he has a headache, then he's mad because that means like he went too hard and he took too many needless shots that he didn't need to take.
He's mad at himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or he's mad at like a situation.
The
where,
situation,
like, someone
yeah.
like like you don't need to really be sparring at that level. You don't
Yeah.
really need to be sparring hard to the point where like someone gets like knocked out in a training situation. You should be moving around, getting tagged, maybe going like like when you spar, you go like maybe like 70%.
Yeah.
I think what he's saying is that he trains and his sparring is more at like a 30%, where
Yeah.
it's more of just like the movements and
Moving your
right
head,
here,
yeah,
get
yeah,
out,
yeah. Yeah, Dan, what are your thoughts on that? Because you've been clocked a few times, yeah? I mean, if you spar with that many people, it's bound to happen.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
At my old kung fu school, we try to avoid too many headshots.
Yeah.
We just like go over the head. You do like you punch over the head, but to the body, and kicks to the body are totally fine because there have been people who have been kicked in the jaw have had their jaws shattered. So we try to avoid those things. You can some people just don't have the control. It's not even just about you. It's more about your opponent.
Yeah.
Okay.
It also has like a lot to do with like where you want to take it in the future. Like if you're just someone who's kind of like doing it to like be in shape, you know, and like wants to learn the art and maybe and not necessarily compete in it, you don't want to be taking those shots for no reason. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like, what's the point of me losing brain cells for like a sparring match, you know?
Yeah.
So then you come back to the baseline thing, right?
Yeah.
Now I need to know who has the control. If I fight against a white belt, you know, someone who's like punching and kicking, they're gonna like just punch and kick because they're gonna like, it's like an ego thing at that point. It's not about getting better or helping other people get better or perfecting your technique or strategies and things like that. It's about ego. I was like, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of someone and they're gonna punch you in the face with no control, right?
Fuck those guys, yeah.
Yeah, fuck those guys. But the thing is, like, now you have to like bring the baseline back up to like, okay, I need everyone to be a blue belt because I need to know that they can control the punches and kicks. They can do it fast and hard, but they should be able to pull it too.
Yeah.
But devil's advocate, if you're good enough, you should be able to handle those assholes too, right? I mean, like, basically, you've got to learn how to handle assholes because not everyone in the world's going to be a really nice sparring partner, you know?
Yeah.
So once in a while, I think like, there's some guys in, you know, jiu-jitsu who will do, like, the wrist locks, which are kind of frowned upon, but they're effective, right?
Yeah, I mean, like,
or
they're frowned upon,
lock,
like, in training, you know what I mean? Like,
heel hooks and stuff.
Well, I mean, no, like, we do heel hooks and ankle locks on the regular.
Yeah.
It's more of kind of like techniques where you kind of like pull on like the collarbone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Or
you
like
go in here,
like when the hand's hidden from the ref, like it's in a position where it'd be hidden from the ref, you're like pulling on the thumb. Like those kind of things are really
dirty.
frowned upon. Yeah, like the dirty stuff, you know what I mean? Like that stuff's frowned upon in a training situation. But
okay, so going back to your point, the devil's advocate, you have to like take care of, you have to be able to handle those people, right?
Yeah.
But what if you're a blue belt and you're sparring against a white belt who can't do it, and a blue belt is just like still in a transitional phase? So what if he just like kicks you in the nuts? There's no way that, you know, every now and then those shots happen.
About striking?
You're talking, so you're talking about for like in striking arts, if a guy kicks you in the nuts, or you're talking about grappling arts, or
Either way, right?
Either way.
Well, if it's like, so for me, I mean, I'm a blue belt, and like, I mean, I've always like for a while, I considered when I was a white belt, for a while towards the end, you know, I considered myself to be like a high level white belt. You know, like when you're almost a blue belt, you kind of see yourself like, oh, I'm like the higher tier of that lower bracket.
Sure.
So, like even then, I would be like if someone's like spazzing out, I would recognize, but hey man, like let's like calm down a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to get hurt. I know you don't want to get hurt. You're still new.
Okay.
Don't get in. Don't blow your knee out before you even get started in this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then a little bit too is like if I'm rolling with someone who like doesn't really know what they're doing, I kind of take like a step back. And then kind of just like flow with it, you know what I mean?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like
you don't shut it down. You just flow with it. Okay.
Yeah, you know, or like you know, like they're like spazzing out. What I'll do is like I'll get wrist control, and then, you know, like when they start to like fling their arms around, it's like, you know, like they can't get out of the wrist control just by flinging their arms around.
Right.
It like teaches them, dude, to get out of this, you're gonna have to use technique.
Oh.
You know what I mean? But
what if they're throwing bows though?
Oh yeah, once they start doing something dirty, like consistently.
Yeah.
Like if someone starts doing like that collarbone thing,
yeah,
or starts to, like pull my thumb.
Yeah.
Then I kind of start doing like some stuff that's like a little bit douchey too. You know what I mean?
You do it back to them.
A little bit. Just because it's kind of like that's when you realize, you know, it's kind of like when your kid. Like when I mean I'm not a parent, but Dad, maybe you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Dan, tell me about it.
When your kid like steals another kid's toy or something.
Okay, all right.
You have to like teach that kid like what they're doing is wrong. So like I don't know, you take their toy away too.
Yeah.
Or you like you talk to them about it. You know, or like your kid's being a bully, so you kind of like get like when like the older kids kind of like bully your kid back, or you know something like that.
Now, wouldn't it be fair to say that even for every technique, like whatever move, it's what we consider dirty, what we consider like kind of like messed up. There is a spectrum of messed upness.
Sure.
Some guys say fucking wrist locks are terrible, right? Whereas I think, dude, in a street situation, like, or whatever. However, it's like, but for all those techniques, there is a counter. There are ways to get out of it.
Yeah.
Even if someone got your thumb, there's ways to like maybe slip out and stuff.
Yeah, true.
But to train those things, there's higher risk of injury.
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Things like grabbing somebody's thumb or their finger or their collarbone, I frown upon it because like it's very easy to just like break it. You know what I mean?
To break that finger, break the collarbone.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or like you're pushing on that rib or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But a wrist lock, I don't think it's necessarily that bad because it's a sanctioned submission, and all you have to do is just tap to it, and then it's done. Okay. You know what I mean? Like.
That's my dog.
Oh, okay. No, you know, like your thumb like someone pulling on your thumb, you can't necessarily tap to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you know, like they could just break it like so easily, and like they'll break it before you even have a chance to react to it sometimes.
Because going back to, because there's this book, I mean, going back to like the Art of Learning book, he does push hands, right? And he talked about how he kept getting like jabs to the throat, right, from another competitor, and basically, or from his other training partner. And at first he was like, dude, you know, fuck that guy, right? But then after a while, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna seek that guy out. So he sought that guy out and trained with him. And when the guy tried to do like a throat jab during push hands, which is not even a striking spar yet, he was able to like, you know, get the chin down or able to deflect the throat strike.
Was it an intentional throat strike?
No, yeah, his partner was trying to do throat strikes in a freaking pushing competition. And then what happened was that when some guys in competition tried to do some dirty shit to him, he was better versed on how to deflect that. So there is some gray area. So like, okay, one thing for me is some of those white belts that are kind of like spazzing out. Yeah, I kind of seek them out, and maybe I'm putting myself at risk. Yeah, but I feel like I have better control now, because I mess around with these. Okay, they're going 100, and like if I try to meet them at going 100, like going head on head, I'm gonna lose. Someone's gonna get hurt. Yeah. So now I'm trying to figure out. They're going like fucking rah, you know. Yeah. I'm like, okay, what are you doing? And I try to be so relaxed so that if they're doing that shit to me, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? You know?
And then you're kind of just like that. You're kind of like that baby that like when someone tries to pick them up, they just like put their arms up and you know like they just slide up.
Yeah. So they're trying to do like a weird ass Kimura or something. I'm like, just put my hand down.
Well, those kinds like I technically try to stay. I actually try to stay away from those guys. Like if I know they're a spaz, but sometimes I have to roll with them. Yeah. But for me, like my I think. Personally, I think my style kind of like works well against them. Okay. I mean, like you see me, I kind of like I tend to just chill and guard.
You're a really chill dude. Like, yeah, he's a pretty chill. If you ever come up here, we should roll. But like Aaron's a really chill roll. I learned a lot from Aaron, even though he destroys me. But he's really Anyways,
yeah. See, I kind of
I'll start the bragging for you.
I tend to just like chill out and you know because like. And I guess that kind of like helps like that scared white belt like to calm down. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it's kind of like when you see like a bunch of stuff flying at you, you have to react super quick. But then once you see that dude who's just kind of like zoned, mellow out, you're just kind of like, oh well, what do I do? What do I do? Right? And then like they're like, oh dude, like why are you so calm? It's like, well, like you know, like think about what you're gonna do next now. You know what I mean? Like Don't just start going crazy now. Now you actually have to like think you have to like be conscientious of what you're doing right now. And then, you know, like all I do is I pretty much just like lay down.
Just lay down.
I always just like lay down and then with like all that they're doing, I kind of just like wait for like an opening that always comes up when you start being spastic.
Yeah.
You know, and then I just jump on that counter and take it home, and then yeah.
So, Dan, did you have anything to add to that, or?
Going back to like dealing with assholes and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You might be able to do it, but what about another beginner?
No. Yeah. No. Basically, I think it's part of the testing ground. Is what I'm saying. Like, I've sparred and rolled with people I don't like, or that are kind of asshole-ish, or whatever, and
but it's not just to, like,
yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
it's not just for you, but to like, if I were to run a school,
yeah,
I have to like worry about the people who can't deal with it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I guess I'm like, I try to stay calm in like a lot of things.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I guess that's why I'm able to deal with it. But yeah, like Dan said, like, what about the guy who doesn't have like your
skill set, your background, your experience, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So you might be able to deal with it, and you have to like, oh, you know what, I gotta just deal with assholes like this. But what if there's like another white belt who's just like, 2 weeks into it, he's not gonna be able to deal with assholes who are like spazzing out.
Mm-hmm. That's true. I mean, chances are that other white belt is spazzing out just as bad. So yeah, so Dan does have a point with the whole.
Then you have two spazzes who are gonna hurt each other.
They're gonna fuck each other up. Exactly. Yeah. Especially like, I wonder about this. Sorry, I just keep kind of going back. Like, maybe I'm paranoid about like the trauma. Like either like for jiu-jitsu, a lot of jiu-jitsu guys have messed up knees. A lot of jiu-jitsu guys have fucked up shoulders. A lot of strikers, some of them get punch drunk, that punch drunk is probably my worst, because like I use my brain for everything. Well, we all use our brain for everything, and I wonder, and I've talked to a lot of fighters, for the documentary, and and a writer who he fought before as well, Sam Sheridan. He made a really good point, is that this body, right? There's a cost, and basically, for you to get to a high level fighting level, you have to spar, right? We can all agree to that. You have to spar either in rolling and fighting.
At some point in time.
Now the intensity of that can be moderated, right? Could be in training. It should be probably 30% or less maybe. But at one point or another, you're gonna compete, and they're going 100, and there's chances of brain injury. So like, and he made a good point, was that you sacrifice for the things you love, regardless of what that is. So if your love is for fighting, for boxing or whatever, guess what? You put your brain at risk.
You put your brain at risk,
because
you put your love life at risk.
Yeah, don't tell me anything like, but there's boxers that can take hits and still. The brain is not meant to be hit. Can we all agree to that? The brain is not meant to be hit.
I'm just like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything, but I mean, like, have you heard Mayweather try to read?
Is it tough?
No.
He can't read.
Oh no, damn.
I don't know, like, if that's because of like brain trauma, or if he just like he never learned, or like he just like focused on boxing, I guess. I never really looked into that story. I just know that he can't read. But
guess what? He's the 1% of the 1% of boxers, right?
He knows how to box. I'm not gonna say he's the greatest boxer.
He's not the greatest.
He knows how to box.
Yeah.
He knows how to.
Don't hit us, Mayweather.
he knows how to win, is what I'll say.
Okay, he knows how to win, right?
But I mean that goes with everything, right? Like, it's all about strategy. Some people play video games a certain way.
That's true.
That nobody likes, but it's a winning way.
Yeah, like in Super Smash Bros. They use Kirby.
Okay.
And they just absorb the character, jump off the edge, spit him out, and then go back to safety.
Oh, is that cheap?
Yeah, that's cheap. It's so cheap.
But it's a technique.
It's a technique, though. It's like a wrist lock,
Exactly.
Yeah, I was reading about this guy who's like supposed to be like one of the best Super Smash Brother guys, but everyone hates his guts.
Yeah.
And it's just the way he plays.
Yeah, it's like that guy who
it's Jeopardy, or
Well, I was gonna say there's this guy who like has like this perfect technique to catch baseballs at baseball games.
Okay.
And so like he has like YouTube videos, but everybody hates his guts because you know like he's caught like so many of them.
Oh.
So basically it means like for everyone he's caught, he's taking that opportunity from someone else.
Yeah.
It was like a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah.
That he's done over like 5,000 times.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Well, he can give the ball away, but that feeling of catching it is gone for that person.
And everybody hates his guts for it. But he figured it out, you know what I mean? So
guess what? Those other people got to figure it out too, right?
Exactly.
Because this goes back to a good point. Tim Ferriss, right? He's like a champion in like Chinese kickboxing. You know, he's like this rider, and he only trained for 4 weeks. So what he did was basically he looked at the rules.
I think I know. Yeah.
Yeah. So he looked at the rules. You get the most points from pushing the person off of the stage, the lei tai, right?
Yeah.
And also, since he has some sports background, he knows how to cut weight, seriously cut weight.
He like looked at like the rule set for like the weigh-ins.
Yeah.
That it was like a day before.
A day before.
Yeah.
So he cut like 26 pounds or something.
Of like just water weight.
And then he gained back 26 pounds in one day.
Yeah.
And then when the fight happened, all he did was like push guys off the...
Yeah.
Because he weighed like, he towered over them. He's like 26.
Yeah.
But at the same time, to say that isn't as easy as it sounds. You know what I mean?
No.
Like he didn't just go in there and just just like patty cake this guy out the ring.
Yeah. It takes effort.
There were still punches and kicks being thrown.
Sure.
know?
And he himself, he lifts weights.
Yeah, I remember I read that story. This guy's like some like tech guy.
Yeah, he's like a startup guy,
Yeah.
multi-millionaire. He wrote the 4-Hour Work Week. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Smart dude. He knows how to deconstruct things.
Exactly.
And he made a really good point in his book, was saying, well, guess what? Because of that, a lot of other guys are doing it now.
Yeah.
And a lot of other, those Chinese kickboxers are cutting weight now, and it's become part of the course.
Yeah.
But since people are doing that, then they have to work at other strategies like the kicks and punches.
Exactly.
As well.
Well, yeah, like in like the UFC, I don't think you'll find any fighter who doesn't cut weight. You know what I mean?
Everyone cuts weight now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why, dude, every pound counts. That's why people are killing themselves to like make weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if it's healthy. Yeah,
it's really not. Even in like jiu-jitsu tournaments where it's like same day weigh-ins.
Yeah,
you'll see guys who like weigh in, and then after they weigh in, they're like sitting on the side trying to eat like a banana and drink a Pedialyte, but they're like too weak that they can't even like finish chewing that banana.
Oh my god!
And they still step on that mat and perform. You know what I mean?
It's crazy, dude.
You're basically bringing everyone back to the same baseline.
Exactly.
You're pulling everyone back to the pack.
Right,
yeah,
but the path.
No one has that advantage anymore.
Right, but the path there is, there's like, what are the rules? How we take advantage of it, and then everyone takes advantage of it. Everyone sees that, and then becomes to another. Now it's like from here. Take advantage. One guy shoots up, then everyone tries to follow, and then now it's another plateau, I guess.
It's like everything, though.
Yeah.
Everything
with with like the arts, with like I mean,
it's kind of like that whole that whole thing where like some people be like, just make steroids legal, and if like people want to do it, then they'll do it. But do you really think that some people are gonna not do the steroids when like some people are, when they're already gonna have like that huge advantage? You know what I mean?
It's basically like if everyone could cheat. Like it's like that Naruto episode where like
if everybody could have like plus 10 to their strength attribute, you're not gonna take it. You know,
right,
what I mean?
right. Or like if the negative for taking it is so minimal, like the Naruto anime, they were taking a test, right? But if they were caught cheating, it's only like -1 point or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I think, and then there were like a bunch of different ways that they were cheating.
Everyone was cheating. Yeah.
Like that one guy was using like a fly.
Yeah, and one guy was using like an eyeball, like a sand eye. Yeah.
Oh man, that was the.
That's a good episode.
The episode was so dumb, but it was so good at the same time.
I hate the filler. Hey, fuck filler episodes, but that was a good episode. Though.
Yeah, dude. You know why filler episodes happen?
Wait, no. Do you know? Is there a reason? Dan, do you know that? I want to know this. Why?
Filler episodes happen because, okay, like to like make a manga takes so long. You know, like to make like that book version of it, it takes so long. And like you read it. You know how long that takes, right?
Yeah.
To read it, to translate it into like a cartoon, just happens so much faster.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
even like with commercial breaks and stuff. So like they have to do stuff to like fill in like the time frame, like to fill in the space. That's why Dragon Ball Z, like they power up for so long.
Oh my god!
It's not because they're constipated. It's because
it's like the one whole episode. It's
exactly.
Like oh no, when is he coming?
You know when like he's building that Kamehameha wave for so long.
Yeah.
But in the manga, it's literally from like one frame to the next, and he fires it.
So I'm so dumb. I watched all of the original Naruto episodes, even the fillers, because I thought that maybe there's some story connection. And then I wasted so much time, and I'm like,
yeah, dude. There's an episode in Dragon Ball Z, which like I always thought it was entertaining, but like I look back on it, it had nothing to do. Where Goku and Piccolo, an alien, a Namekian who's an alien, they both go to get their driver's license.
Oh god.
But it's like, why do they need a driver's license? They can both fly.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, was it a good episode though?
It was funny. It was funny, dude. It was a funny. But they have to be funny. You know what I mean? They have to be. They have to make some.
Yeah. Interesting. Dan, did you want to add to that? Do you watch much anime or?
I used to watch a lot more. I don't watch as much anime as I used to. I mean, do you have a good one that's contemporary?
Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay.
I watched the original one. I didn't watch like the Brotherhood.
Yeah, I heard. I watched a little bit of both. The ending of Brotherhood was a lot more rewarding than the original one. Yeah,
it's because it was more true to the manga. It was a true adaptation.
I never read the manga. Oh, have you ever heard of this anime called Akame ga Kill?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
That one was good.
It's good?
It's good.
It's about murder or what?
No, dude, it's well, I can't really give it away.
Yeah.
But it's basically it's about like this group of rebels, and they're trying to overthrow the government that's super shady.
Okay.
Super corrupt.
I'll write that down.
Akame, Akame.
Yeah.
Gakill. Dude, it's super hard. It's super good. Like you know, like well, I don't want to give anything away, but like I was watching an episode. And my mom happened to like sit down. Yeah. And so like, and then like, and then she was like watching, and then it ended, and then she goes like, so what happened? What happened to them? And then I was just like,
gotta wait till the next episode.
Like something happened. I was like, yeah, I know. I just don't know what else to say. I'm in just as much shock as you are.
That's good storytelling. That's good storytelling. Yeah. You know, I've noticed this. A lot of people in general love anime, but martial artists in general or fighters fucking love Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, anime, or maybe like Attack on Titan or whatever. It's I don't know. Do you know what the connection? I have a theory, but I want to hear your guys' theories. I don't know.
I think it's just like the aspect of like seeing what something that you love, like you know, like martial arts, but like just taken to like such an extreme to like a point where like
it's ridiculous.
You know, you know, like it's where it's ridiculous. Like you'll never be able to achieve what they're doing.
Super Saiyan 4, 5, 9, 10.
But like how many times when you were a little kid were you like going like with like all your friends, like just like play? Hey, you guys want to play Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah. Shoot, like who doesn't want to shoot chi balls, like chi fireballs from their hand?
But in some sense, they're still like doing like martial arts and stuff. You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Like some of their technique, like in I know this isn't an anime. But it's really close to it. But Avatar, The Last Airbender. Okay. You know, like all the bending that they were doing was still some form of like a real martial art.
Oh, okay.
You know, like they all had like some like roots in like martial
arts.
Fire,
water. Okay, yeah.
Like with their bending techniques. That's actually that's like my favorite. It's not an anime though. Yeah, but it's my favorite cartoon.
Well, it's the American cartoon, I guess. Yeah. Dan, you have a theory or?
Well, with Dragon Ball, I think Dragon Ball is probably like everyone's start for anime because that's like the old school one that everyone keeps watching and stuff. Yeah, but they have some really good ideas of like you got to work out, you got to like put in the effort and put in the time, and that's what martial arts.
Come on, guys, Gravity Machine.
Remember
yes. But truth be told, like if we even like did like 2 times Earth's gravity, we'd just be crushed.
What?
Yeah.
Just 2 times?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because like think of how you are now, like
it's pretty good.
Like I don't know. Yeah.
But isn't a roller coaster getting close to 2 times sometimes?
No, no. I mean, you can still pull 2Gs, but like jet fighters do 2Gs, but I don't think they can do it for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah, but sorry, Dan, I cut you off. What were you saying?
Like jet fighters, they do. I think they do 2Gs. I don't know how many Gs.
With the Dragon Ball Z thing.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're saying that Dragon Ball Z was like everyone's because it's so classic.
Well, it's all about like working out. It's just like martial arts, right? You have to like do the push-ups and kicks and like punches, and Dragon Ball Z like showed it that there wasn't just like natural talent. You have to like work at it.
That's true.
But going back to natural talent, Goku is a fucking he's a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, that's true because Vegeta is the prince of all Saiyans.
Yeah.
By birthright he should be great, but Goku's just like a pauper. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Like he wasn't like no royalty.
Right.
Wait. What's pauper? This is like new slang for me.
A pauper?
Like a pauper, like the king and the pauper. Pauper.
Oh.
Yeah, like a poor boy. Yeah.
I think you thought it was like slang, like
slang
this is lit, fool.
No, it was like in the realest sense of the word. You know? But Goku just had like that natural, like Goku has always been one step ahead of Vegeta.
Dude, that's why Vegeta's my favorite character.
Because
everyone loves Vegeta. Come on. Who favorite character of Dragon Ball Z?
Trunks.
Wow, interesting.
I like Gohan.
I'm Vegeta all the way.
I liked Gohan until he became kind of like young Gohan was where it was at. You know, but not when it was like, oh, I have like a wife and daughter.
Oh, when he grows up.
Yeah.
Oh,
what about the Android series where he has to? Trunks goes back in time, right?
Yeah.
And then he finds Gohan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that Gohan seems pretty cool. I think if I remember that storyline correctly, but
Gohan, the young Gohan, like the one that defeated Cell and all that.
Oh, before the kids, before
Pam. Is it Pam? Was it Pam or Pan?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm kind of.
I didn't get to that part. I think I ended with Cell.
Oh, okay. So you never saw the Kid Buu series?
No.
Oh,
Majin Buu?
Majin Buu.
I did watch Majin Buu. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of ridiculous. He can destroy the whole universe. It's kind of like fucking.
He destroys himself too, in destroying the universe. Did you know that?
I didn't know. That's
like he shoots a beam that's so powerful, he himself gets destroyed, but it leaves like one cell of his that he like regenerates.
Oh my god. Okay.
Do you ever notice in Dragon Ball Z though that like most of like the majority of all the enemies were killed by like a spirit, or like either they were killed by a spirit bomb or they spent like 2 episodes building up the spirit bomb and it didn't work.
Oh god, yeah.
But there's always been a spirit bomb involved.
I'm trying to remember. The spirit bomb is where
Goku would like raise his hands up in the air, like give me your energy.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so those are old ones. What's a more contemporary one? I mean, you gave me Omega Kill.
Akame ga
I
Kill.
mean, there's some good like contemporary ones. I'm not too. I'm kind of out of this.
I heard there's something called like something Academia.
I mean, there's My Hero Academia. I
heard that one's good. It's on Netflix.
I mean, there's also come on, there's a classic, Hajime no Ippo, the boxing one.
Yeah, that one I watched.
That's a classic one. Now, if you want, are we talking just anime with fighting, or like, see me, I'm kind of romantic.
No, something even more contemporary, like
Your Lie in April.
I'm watching that right now. It's all right. Yeah, it's
I saw that one.
Piano.
I saw that one.
Yeah, it's competitive. You know, I'm on episode 3.
They can make anything dramatic.
Dude, Japanese are good. Another one that's a little bit older is Honey and Clover. That's about these art students who are about to graduate from art school, and they talk about some of the similar stuff. I think I think any high performer, but particularly I think the Japanese, who are such perfectionists, I believe, is that they make everything dramatic because basically it always comes down to that dilemma, like, oh, I'm an art student, but why is that guy who doesn't work as hard as me better than me? You know, and there's that kind of, and what's interesting about I think Honey and Clover it's there's a love story is the central thing, but they also touch on this idea of talent and also like finding your own way. Like even if you're not as good as that guy or who, there's always going to be someone better than you who doesn't work as hard as you. You know, there's always going to be that guy.
I hate that guy.
We all hate that guy, but guess what? You have your own path.
Yeah.
And no one can tell you what that is. You have to find out for yourself. And I think that's central to all anime or to all storytelling. My voice got hella high there. To all storytelling.
But that doesn't happen in Dragon Ball Z though, because Goku works hard.
Goku is he's got talent. He works hard.
Exactly. See,
and he's a good guy.
See, he's got that's what happens when you have both of those things. When you have the talent and you work hard.
That's why I like Vegeta. Fuck Goku. Goku, don't beat me up, but he's a fictional character. But Vegeta, dude, he's like...
He's short.
He's short. He's got a chip on his shoulder, but he loves his son. And he's...
Deep down,
Deep down, he doesn't show love. He's like my father. Or he's like Elijah. But deep down, he loves his son. Like, dude, that one episode where Trunks comes and says, "Father, let me fight with you." He's like a little kid. And Vegeta,
when these guys to beat Majin Buu.
And then Vegeta hugs him.
And then he punches him in the stomach.
Oh.
And then Goten is like, What are you doing?
What
man?
are you doing?
What are you doing, Wario? That's your son. And then he's like, Piccolo, get him out of here, man.
He knocked these kids who are like freaking. Okay, if
well, first off, even though they're only 8, they're still fighting like.
Dude, these kids are like at least blue belt level, right?
Yeah.
they could kill 99.9% of the organisms in the universe, but Vegeta, boom, you get out here. I got a job to do.
He makes him. Well, spoilers.
Spoiler. Okay, turn off right now and go ahead.
Like a super old.
Yeah, he blew himself up to try to defeat him, but
But the thing I don't with Dragon Ball, sorry, this is a crazy tangent, but I like it. It's like death doesn't have really consequences in Dragon Ball, really.
Yeah, true. Because how many times does Krillin come back?
Right, come on, Krillin, like
yeah.
And I feel bad for Krillin because he doesn't have much to offer. Like,
he doesn't.
Nope.
He offers some comedy, but not even that much. Yeah,
but
he's actually much better in regular Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
And he couldn't even find like a human girl. He had to marry an android.
Yeah, that's true.
That android's pretty hot though. Android 18.
Oh, have you seen Sword Art Online?
Oh, I heard that was.
I saw like 1 or 2 episodes. I haven't finished it yet. Huh?
How do you feel about it?
I'm just like okay about it. Like my friends all love it, but I'm just.
I like the concept. The concept was cool.
Okay, because they're all like trapped in the game, right? Or something
In the first season, they're trapped in the game. What about movies?
Movies, I mean, Your Name was really good, I thought.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
Did you see that one, Dan? Or
Yeah.
Have you seen
and
My
J.J.
Neighbor
Abrams
Totoro?
is gonna make it a live action.
Oh, dude, mine. Yeah. See that painting over? Let me see if I can get on the video. Yeah, there's a watercolor over there. Right there. That's My Neighbor Totoro. Guess what I'm gonna be for Halloween, guys?
Totoro.
I have a Totoro one.
Do you know the story behind Totoro?
What?
Have you seen it, Dan? Have you seen the movie?
I've seen it. I don't know the story.
Spoiler alert to everybody.
I've seen it.
And I hope I don't ruin this for anyone, but Totoro is actually the angel of death.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Think about it. Totoro only showed up anytime somebody like disappeared or died.
Are those kids dead?
I've actually never seen the movie because it kind of like I read it. I was scrolling through something and I read it and it kind of ruined it for me. Like, well, now I can't watch it. But yeah, they say
should watch it.
They say that Totoro is the angel of death because like he always shows up.
I watched My Neighbor Totoro thinking he's super cute and loving, and he's loving cute. But since you said that, it kind of confirmed my feeling. There's a level of danger with him.
Exactly.
There's a level of like he's got big ass teeth. He could chop you. There's like a certain ominous. I don't even know the word. See, this because I got punched in the head today. So ominous nature of him. That's kind of underlying. Yeah. I think so. There's underlying.
And if you like, I don't know. I think there's some scene where they're like playing in the water or something, right?
You should watch it, man. Yeah.
But there's like some scene where they're playing in the water.
Yeah.
You should watch it with that idea in mind that it's like the angel of death, because I don't know if that applies at the very end.
Do you show that to your kids? It's like, hey,
No,
hey.
my kids watched it.
Well, no. What I read about it was that okay. So like in like one of the examples is that like he shows up when they're like playing in the water or something, where like I guess one of like the little girls like almost drowns or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Right, and then it like real world story that actually happened where like these two girls were like playing.
Oh my gosh.
So like that was like based.
That's dark.
Like that.
This is
part
like.
of,
Where did you read this? Is it like a Reddit or something?
This
or
was
subreddit?
this was like one of those Instagram like did you know? like those that did you know page
Oh,
that
yeah,
gives you
yeah.
like all these fun facts. And he goes, did you know my neighbor Totoro's the angel of death? Come on,
Dude,
man, I haven't seen it yet.
I'm so like you. Like, I could be on IMDb for like hours looking up the trivia section of movies. Dude,
Yeah.
that's
And
my
then
shit. That's my shit.
It takes you down a rabbit hole.
A rabbit hole,
so
yeah.
deep.
Because like, hey, that's not enough. I need to find another site.
When I was like looking up that Totoro stuff,
Yeah.
like once it went to the articles,
Yeah.
and then like everything's in black and white.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm done. That's when it starts to get creepy for me, dude. Is when you see like old timey black and white photos.
Yeah.
That's when it gets too scary. I was like,
Yeah, now I really want you to watch that because with that idea that's the angel of death. I'm gonna watch it again. I think at some point because my kids will watch it.
Yeah.
But have you seen Princess Mononoke?
yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen it.
yeah.
I love that
Because that
movie.
was about his fight with cancer.
Oh, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
You know how like it like starts the forest gets like taken over and
It's
all
like
that.
almost like a tumor. Like
yeah, that
like the
freaking
that hits
thing
his
coming
arm.
out of his
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah, how the whole
elk.
forest is
Yeah.
like getting taken over is like his body getting taken over by cancer.
That makes so
Nausicaa,
much
that's a
sense.
classic one. It's
Yeah.
similar concept. It's like these
The spores.
the spores. Nausicaa's classic. There's
Howl's
the boy.
Moving
There's Boy and the Beast. That's a newer one. That's not bad. It's about a boy. He finds himself, spoiler, in the beast world. There's the beast world and there's the human world, right? And he gets lost. You guys might like this because he trains with the beast on how to fight and basically fight other beasts as a human. But it's a little bit kind of like, oh, so this human can be in the beast world
Yeah.
and then be better than the beast. It's kind of like, human savior. But there's a twist at the end that kind of makes up for it. So Boy and the Beast is good. I recommend that. Your Name I liked a lot because
Princess Mononoke and like
Yeah.
My Neighbor Totoro, those are all
Studio
Ghibli.
Yeah.
Was Your Name really that much? Okay, like if you think about like Studio Ghibli movies, was Your Name really better than Studio Ghibli
It's
movies?
a different style.
It's like a different animal.
It's a different animal.
Yeah, it's like very like anime-y.
It's anime, but it's smart in how it plays with time, and
I haven't seen it though.
and body and romance.
Okay.
Because you want me to spoil it
No,
or
I
no?
No, don't spoil.
Just okay. I'll leave you with that, and I think it's really interesting the way.
Wait.
Yeah.
Was Your Name by Studio Ghibli as
No,
well?
No, it
it's
wasn't.
by another guy.
Yeah, but like everybody said that like that movie like beat all of like Studio Ghibli's records.
yeah, it
or
beat all the
something like
records.
that.
Yeah.
Well,
highest
the thing
grossing.
is, like, if you like watch all of Studio Ghibli stuff, there's a lot of like really weird, fantastical things about it. Like
Yeah.
Totoro is like this like gigantic cat-like thing, and they have a cat bus.
Spoiler.
And Howl's Moving Castle is like something that moves around.
Yeah, I've seen Spirited Away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mononoke, and the one about the airplanes or something
Oh,
during like World War II, where this guy's like dreaming about
The Wind Rises.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Wind Rises is kind of a downer.
I didn't. That one was just like like
That's like a drama.
Yeah, like nothing's happening that whole movie, and then like the one thing that does happen is just heartbreakingly sad.
Yeah.
It's like,
The director for the original Japanese voice actor for that main character, the guy with the glasses, is Hideki Anno.
oh,
And he did Evangelion. That's some of the posters I have
Yeah.
up here.
I
And
feel like.
yeah.
Sorry, I feel like a lot of the times though, when with those movies, like it's not done justice for a lot of the people that watch it in America when they do like the voiceovers, because it's so like when Joseph, like no disrespect to Joseph Gordon-Levitt,
Yeah.
but when he was doing it,
With the Wind Rises?
yeah,
Yeah.
it was just so like blah.
Oh, no.
Like he's like, oh wow, this is great.
Jeez.
Like that was
Yeah,
that's literally
yeah.
how one of the. But Kiki's Delivery Service was dope.
Oh, who
Do
did
you remember that one?
I haven't seen
I
that.
think that was Studio Ghibli, wasn't it?
Well,
Yeah,
you talking about
that
the
is.
dub was good, or you talk about the film itself?
Like the film itself and the dub.
And the dub was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
With what was her name? The original Mary Jane. Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst, yeah.
Yep, that was her.
What I was gonna say was, there's very rarely any good dubs that, for me personally, I always watch the original voice acting, Japanese act and subtitles. But Cowboy Bebop, dude, Cowboy Bebop's voice dub is on point.
It is.
It's on point.
Oh.
A lot of times when they do voice dubs too, they take out some of like the poeticness.
Yeah.
Of it, like when I was like watching Gundam Lightning Bolt,
Okay.
or Thunder, something like that.
Yeah.
And then I watched like the first 10 minutes in like dub.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't do this. Like, this is too much reading. I'm missing a lot of the action. Like, I can't believe you killed him. And then, oh no, it wasn't dub. I was watching the first 10 minutes subtitled, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't believe you killed him. And I was like, what? He killed him? It's because I was reading the subtitles. I didn't see that they killed him. Right?
Okay.
So
you gotta
like,
work on your peripheral vision. Yeah.
so I watched it in dub, and then they said something like, oh, he's been killed, and then like originally it was like, you took his life away or something like that, like just like the poeticness of like the translation, like for whatever reason they like dumb it down in English when they dub it, which I think it would have been better if they just used the original translations.
Yeah, and that's the art of, and that's the curse of, I think, dubbing. It's like picking and choosing your battles. Like with any translation. I did some translation work recently for a friend, and it was like it was crazy. Like it wasn't for like a movie. It was for like certain patients, right?
Yeah.
And that were saying some weird stuff, right? It was strange for me. I was just like, because I'm an English native speaker, so going from Chinese to English is better than for English to Chinese. I couldn't do the other way. But from Chinese to English, and I just realized like, whoa, there's no way to say this in English.
Yeah, it's kind of like and then also,
I mean, there is a way to get the idea of it, but it's not the same.
Yeah, you can't translate it word for word sometimes. Like in Tagalog, there's like this phrase like sip sip.
Okay.
That literally, like, if you translate it, it basically means like if you're eating chicken, like, oh, sip the bones, meaning like clean the bone off completely, like don't leave any meat. But there's no like word that says sip, it's like a phrase.
Okay. It's
but,
yeah,
but it's all, and then also like like in like the UFC when they're like interviewing the fighters, and then that fighter is just like starts pointing like it's like raising his voice, and then they give it to the translator. What do you say? Like, yeah, he had a good fight, and he's really happy about it. It's kind of like that sometimes.
Right. Yeah. Cool. I mean, Dan, how are you on time?
I'm pretty good. I just have to like do some chores and stuff, but.
Yeah. I mean, what do you feel? Should we wrap it or?
I'm good for whatever. Yeah.
I mean, okay. With the anime, I'm trying to think. Boy and the Beast.
Oh, did you like think of another one? I like Shokugeki no Soma.
What's that?
It's a cooking show.
Oh, is that the one where like they took a bite and then like
everything like
all implodes? Yeah. Have you seen that one?
I saw like a clip of it.
On Facebook
I thought it was like hentai.
Yeah,
I thought it was hentai. I was like, whoa, like I'm getting really turned on, and I feel weird.
It was like going on, and then I was like, man, I'm glad nobody's home. But like, at the same time, like I'm not gonna stop watching this because I kind of want to see where this goes. And then at the same time, I'm thinking like, is this real or did somebody make this to like make fun of something?
To fuck with me, yeah.
But not
the food. They actually talk about the actual techniques of how things are made.
Oh wow!
It's really good. It's really well researched as far as how they get more deliciousness out of certain types of foods.
Yeah. So, Dan, I mean, because you do have some contact with Japanese culture, like there seems to be this sort of very, and I don't think I've seen it in other cultures as pronounced as in Japanese culture. This kind of pursuit of perfection, right?
Yeah.
And there's this pursuit of perfection to the point where they go to wabi sabi, right? Where it's like, oh, it's so perfect that I have to make an imperfection to make it not as perfect or something. Right?
Well, wabi sabi, that's not how I understand it.
Right.
I didn't even know about wabi sabi until recently, really.
Yeah.
But it's like the beauty of imperfection.
Okay.
Because it's just naturally that way.
But it seems like Japanese are so obsessed with perfection, or I don't know. Do you see that in Japanese culture, or?
This is the way it was explained to me when I was working for a Japanese company. The way Japanese people approach imperfection versus like Koreans and Chinese people. Like Japanese people, if there's a slight imperfection in anything, they'll reject the order and just like send it back to you. The Koreans will like bitch about it and ask for a discount. Right? They'll just like, there's like a slight imperfection, blah, 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 and then, discount. Chinese people is like, just give us a discount on it and we'll just call it a day.
Yeah.
They're more chill about it, or?
Yeah. They're chill enough that they'll just like take the discount.
And America just goes, we'll just put it in the discount store or the outlet mall.
Yeah. Or
but it's just the way the Japanese people are. I mean, it's a good idea.
Tough,
yeah.
If you're gonna do something, you might as well do it to the best of your ability. Mm-hmm. And that's something where I don't know if it's like the Japanese thing is like, you don't pursue art, but you just try to pursue perfection, and art comes out of it or something like that. I don't know what the exact quote was, but it was something to that effect.
I mean, there's a Japanese term for that, right? Where like the Jiro dreams of sushi, like all these guys, they are masters at that craft, right? Because that's all they do. There's like I forget the term for it, but basically they've dedicated their life to like roof tiling, making sushi, fixing bikes, like all these like making tea. Like all these,
it's
like
a very zen thing, though,
dude, and it's like pretty dope.
But that's like something that's like it talks about like your culture too, because like in Japan, like you have something like that and it's like applauded. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like in like with this like Jiro Dreams of Sushi, he makes the best sushi, and he's like applauded for it. Right. That guy who does tiles, he's making tea, he's applauded for it.
Yeah.
Here in America, it's like, dude, what you're trying to make? You know how like they have like
you broke,
like they have those competitions for like baristas and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like they do like the thing with the cream, and then they make the froth and they make the designs. It's like no one's gonna applaud them. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, like get like a real job. But like in Japan, it's like you have like this idea, like this concept. Let it flourish.
Let it flourish. Yeah. I one of my friends' Instagrams is like he's making like cats and with the coffee with the cream.
And then they have like they get like a little paintbrush and they like paint the foam to make like cats.
Right. Yeah. No, that's like guess what? Can you do that?
Exactly.
Can you do that?
No, yeah, like that. Like I said, like that takes a lot of skill, but at the same time, like.
Can you make money from it?
Exactly.
That's what America's all. Can you make money from it?
Exactly.
Whereas I think at the same time,
like that has validity. Like, can you make money off of it?
It does.
That has validity.
There is some validity.
But like in Japan, like that dude Jiro, he's making money.
He's making money. Yeah.
I don't know if he's still alive though. I don't think he's still alive.
I'm not too sure, but
it's like the idea of like any martial artist, right? Any martial artist or musician, you kind of like
do it for the art.
Yeah, you do it and you have to hone your craft. You're always like practicing to get better and better and better.
Right.
It's a very like zen way of doing things.
Right. And I think
why waste your fucking time doing anything if you're not going to do it well?
Exactly.
Do it well. Yeah. I do think it depends, but this goes back to your other point, like what do you get out of it? Okay? So there's guys who are I used to train. I did some Tai Chi in the park before with like these old, Ayis and like aunties and this older gentleman. And their Tai Chi level was like whatever. But I learned the forms from him. Mm-hmm. I respected it. And, it was a convenient time. So I went and I learned the forms. But then in my own time, I wanted to perfect the moves a little bit more. And I sought some outside help. But those ladies, are they wasting time? They're never really getting to the deep core of Tai Chi. They're just kind of just doing the movements, and they think. But it's fun.
I think it kind of means like, also like, in the sense of like what you're getting out of it.
Right, and
they're probably getting a lot out of it.
Yeah, they enjoy it. It's more of like a community thing. Hey, how's it going? And then they do the moves.
And everything like it's like health or like inner peace or something. Yeah. Like I mean like when like they're like older, like they need something to like they need like the movement.
Right.
And then like that's what they're getting. It's almost kind of like yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah.
when they do it to that level.
I guess my devil advocate hat would be that you can do why do anything and do well, but the thing is it also depends on your what you're getting out of it and what does it mean to be like perfect, because I think there is, because on the flip side of that kind of we're applauding that mentality of being like the best barista or being the best tile maker. These are all Zen like very worthy pursuits, right?
In Japan, right?
Because
like here in America, like if you're like the best barista ever, you're. I didn't mean to laugh, but it's just like, and I'm sorry, like like you're the best barista ever. What's your reward for it? You become manager of that Starbucks.
Sure.
And then, but like being like the manager of the Starbucks is still kind of like frowned upon. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people like look at it and be like, dude, that's not a real job. That's not like a career.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But the thing is, it's not about that for that person. Yeah. It's about the art, right?
Sometimes. Yeah.
But I'm saying, I guess what I'm trying to say is that for some people, it's okay if you don't pursue it that way. I mean, you're not going to be like the optimal performer, or you're never going to get to the deeper breadth level.
Like some people are just...
But if you want just the surface level, like Tai Chi move like that, and you feel good, then I can't hate on that.
Yeah.
You know?
Like some people are just doing the barista thing to pay their way through college. Yeah. And they just so happen to become manager through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so like it's not like their end goal a lot sometimes.
Right. So I don't think that's really against your point. Like to do something, why don't you try to be? I think it's just that it depends on your intention, I guess, right?
Well, those people who are doing Tai Chi in the park, that's not the thing that they're just doing for whatever their reason, right? But if you find someone who's like a master, that's their craft. Those are the people who are going to perfect it. Japanese people like Jiro, I'm sure he does other things. Well, maybe not Jiro, but
he just dreams about sushi.
Yeah, maybe like like another cook or whatever, or a craftsman who does like tiles or whatever. He might dabble with something else, but he doesn't really care.
Yeah,
it's not a hobby for them. That's their life.
Yeah.
But the people that you're talking about in the park, Tai Chi is not their life. Right, they haven't made a career out of it.
And those people who like, where like it's not their hobby, like it's their life. Like their hobbies, that the things that are their hobbies are usually things to improve their life.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Right.
Like say like someone does jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And that's their life.
Sure.
But for some people, it's just be a hobby, right?
Yeah.
For people whose jiu-jitsu is their life.
Marcelo Garcia.
Their hobbies would be like, going to the gym, working out, meditating, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But all that stuff goes back to just being improving their main goal. You know what I mean?
Like why are they refreshing? Like they're taking time off. Oh, that's so good. When they come back to jiu-jitsu,
it's actually like to be better at like jiu-jitsu.
So it's like all these wells are still filling the same pond, right? Yeah.
So like like you're
I don't know if that analogy makes sense, but yeah.
No, it can't.
All the rivers, all the streams flow to the same ocean. Anyways, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. No. I mean, that's basically it. Like all like it's their life. They have hobbies, but in a sense, like it's still for like that's how much they love it. You know what I mean? Like it's all for like the greater pursuit of what they want.
No, there's something beautiful about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I think we should let's finish it up. Any last thoughts or comments or
Oh
yeah.
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, dude, did you guys realize? I think a lot of also with like anime. Back to it.
Anime. I'm writing down anime.
Like I think like with like in Japan, like anime, since it's like so ingrained in Japanese culture that like it's okay. Like anybody watches anime in Japan. Like that's why they're able to make like dramas and stuff in anime.
Mm-hmm,
But here in America, like it's all very kid-like. Like to be watching cartoons.
Yeah, it's the frown.
And that's why when it's like dubbed, like they change it to be more kid-like. Like in Digimon, like
I didn't watch it, but yeah.
Well, so like in Digimon, there's like this one animal that like it never digivolved to like a huge cliffhanger, like a huge like what's that part? where like it goes up on the plot chart.
Oh, the climax.
Yeah,
yeah.
A huge climax. He digivolves, right?
Yeah.
And then in the Japanese version, they're like, "Oh my gosh, Patamon, he digivolved. It's great, right?"
Yeah.
And then in the English dub, they're like, "Oh, I want to take him home with me."
Oh God, no! Stop!
Right?
Stop!
No, I'm serious, but that's what they do.
That that pain. It's painful,
right? Yeah. Like when I saw. So yeah, I think like. Do you guys have any thoughts on that? Like
that's stupid.
That's the whole like they bring it like they brought. Like that's like America's view of anime. That is always like,
right.
I mean,
for like a younger generation. Like, you
well,
gotta give that.
I think it's changing because like Pixar movies are definitely for adults as well as for kids, right?
They're getting better. Yeah.
But I was thinking about this anime thing. I know we talked about how like the eyes look different. Anime characters
back to the
look American or whatever, or not Japanese. But if you look at their portrayal of foreigners, what's ironic is the eyes are actually smaller.
They're like shifty looking.
They're like more rectangular.
Oh.
I'll send you I'll send a picture of something to James, and he can take a look and show it to you.
It's kind of like how in Simpsons the white people are Asian and the yellow people are white. Like
yeah. That's true, dude.
And then Smithers used to be black, or I think he is black, or I don't know.
Oh really?
In Simpsons originally,
I think it was because of the coloring was off in the earlier episodes. But yeah.
Originally, Krusty and Homer were supposed to be the same person.
Whoa.
That's why they're like built the same.
Yeah.
But like they like never like followed through on that idea.
Well, there's that episode where he steps in as Krusty, right?
I don't know.
Spoiler.
I stopped watching.
Yeah. I mean, what was I gonna say about that? I think Hideki Anno, the Evangelion director, he made a good point that he was saying how kids should be. I don't know if I fully agree with this, but there's some truth to it. But kids should be exposed to the world in a way that they understand that the world contains certain elements. Mm-hmm. Now that doesn't mean show porn to kids. That would not be correct. But more that he
I just thought of that food thing.
Oh yeah,
that food anime. Like kids can't watch that.
But he was saying like he feels that kids should be exposed to the reality of life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like you see his anime. His anime is some dark ass shit. But I think also Studio Ghibli is pretty good at exposing the reality and hardships of being a parent or being like of being lost, or cancer in sort of like a symbolic way that the kids, they might not understand it, but they feel it,
Yeah.
And they're learning from that.
That's true.
So I think it's a shame that American dubs are trying to take that part away because I don't know
they do something where like they take away some of the like the sincerity of like the anime or of the cartoon.
Let me ask you guys: is there something in your childhood that you felt that you were too young to see? For me personally, like maybe some of the porn I came across. Like I told Dan the story about like some kid throwing me a bag of porn one time, and like in my neighborhood, and I was just like, you know what? I don't know if I was old enough to see that because I was. I looked at it, but it was really intriguing. I didn't stop.
Yeah.
So, was it helpful for me? I think it oversexed me a little bit and gave me some weird ideas about women. But but my girlfriend said that I was sorry, I don't personal. Okay, TMI warning. But like my ex-girlfriends were like, damn, James, wow, how do you know how to do that stuff? Or like, and I was like, I don't know. I just. And I quit porn now, but like for the longest.
How'd you do that, man?
I had to go cold turkey. Okay, I did. I was watching and I watched like a TED talk about why this guy stopped watching porn, and I was reading some articles about like how
what it can do to you,
like porn can
serotonin levels or something.
Serotonin levels. It can change. It can change your perception of women. Also, it can mess with brain chemistry a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's like a drug. It's kind of like. Why people have food addictions? It's similar systems as like porn addictions, right?
Dude, I feel like it.
Yeah.
if you do it too much,
Yeah.
like when I go through like my phases of like I'm doing it a lot, I feel like I get weird. Like I'm like a weird person. You know
I
what
feel
mean?
bad.
Like your conversations with people like aren't as good.
And I'll get flashes of those images,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm like, I shouldn't. Oh my god.
No, dude. Like there was this one time, like I had to get physical therapy,
Okay.
and so this was like during the phase when I was like watching a lot,
Yeah.
and so like
Wait, American, Japanese, or everything, or like, what do you do? What do you watch?
I like.
You don't have to get too personal. If you don't want to share, don't share. Yeah.
I like Hispanic stuff. I like Hispanic girls, dude.
You're on that tab. You go, okay, I'll click that tab.
Yeah. So like I went to get something to eat first, right? And I think I ate too much because like when I was doing like the physical therapy, you know, like they were kind of just like sensing like the trigger points. So I was like laying down and I was like kind of like falling asleep. Yeah. And I was like starting to like dream, right? And then it was starting to go to those images, and I was like, no, hey, get back in it. Hey, focus. You know, because like normally you could be like, all right, you know, I'm just gonna take a nap real quick, but it's like, no, dude, you gotta stay awake. You're wearing thin shorts, bro. You're good. Stay awake. But yeah, dude, you get weird. You're like weird when.
Yeah.
I feel like and sometimes like if you're like around people, like you can like pick somebody in the room, and be like, yeah, that guy probably watches too much porn.
Yeah, there's a certain energy level. Like, I mean, I don't know how many times you fap a week, or like, you know, but I'm trying to limit how many times I do a week, because if I do it,
so you fap without watching porn?
I can jack off without watching porn. Yeah.
I mean, I could too, but it's like, why?
You want a healthy prostate. That's why.
That is true.
Right, but I try to limit how much I don't do it every day like I used to.
You could lose sensitivity.
Because my energy level is not as good if I masturbate every day.
That's true.
And like I tried it. Okay, it's tough. I tried it just once a week before, and dude, like I was energetic though. Yeah. But like I was.
You're grouchy.
Oh my god.
You have too much energy at night.
And I would get hard. I would get erections at like the slightest things, you know.
Oh, dude! Yeah. Like if a cat like sits on your lap.
No. Like,
and then like it brushes against you, and then like it runs off, and you're like, oh no.
No, it'd be like I'm at Dunkin' Donuts. She's like, oh, here's your donut. I'm like, okay.
Oh, did you just say nut?
Did you just say like, did you want me or like?
Yeah.
And she's not even that high. So. There's a balance, so I try to do it not as many times. I don't do it every day. Maybe each person has their own.
I think it's also like staying busy too.
Yeah, and I try to use that sexual energy towards like creative projects like podcasting or like writing or you know, and also in jiu-jitsu, you know. I don't want to.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking that too.
Yeah, no, in martial arts, that because I don't know if this is Dan. I don't know if you can speak to this or if you know any studies about this, but I think that sexual energy, those systems are part of your physical systems as well, your fighting systems and your creative juice.
Testosterone.
Testosterone. The creative, they call it creative juices, but it might be similar juices. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It's just testosterone.
Yeah. So, all right, Dan, you said you had a point before we head out, or yeah.
Not a point. I just sent you guys like a link to this anime for a major. It's like a pictures, but if you look at that link, there are guys on the left who are clearly Americans, and the rest of the people are like Asian. But you'll see that the eyes look a little bit different.
Oh, yeah. They're more like glaring, like they're always angry or something.
Yeah, but there's like the foreigners are definitely blonde and blue eyed and all that stuff. But if you look at the Asian ones, I mean, the eyes are much bigger.
They're huge. They're like round eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're big.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
like you see the girls, they do like the loop kind of technique for the eyes.
And you know what? Like Dan, like why are all these animes have people who are Japanese but they have blonde hair? I don't know. It's like you're our resident expert, but
it's because I read about this. It's because if you everyone with black hair, everyone looks the same. Wow, there are too many similarities. So they just want something distinguished.
So it's just like purple hair and stuff.
Okay, so that's why they have purple hair, blue hair, blonde hair,
red hair. Yeah, like things that are like a little bit more idealistic, I guess. You know, and if you even watch Macross, I mean, somebody had green hair.
Yeah, that
Watch
was
what?
Robotech.
Macross?
Yeah. That's older. That's more your generation, Dan. I mean, like that's
I
actually
know, but
my brother was into it. He's only 5 years older than me, and like he was deep into Robotech. But yeah. Okay. I don't know. You guys have any language corner things or?
no, I don't. Not today.
Not today. Yeah.
Do you have one?
Let me think. I don't have anything prepped. Let's see.
Wait,
Well,
did I ever cover Meiwaku? I probably covered my Meiwaku.
what's Meiwaku? I think you might have.
Yeah, Meiwaku is like the idea of like not causing trouble for other people.
Yeah.
In Japan, it's like, it's an all for all society. So yeah, I don't have it.
I guess. I mean, I have like simple phrases like okay, 真的吗? Right? So 真的吗 means really, right? And Japanese is 本当に, right? So like you say, oh, 真的吗? Is that for reals? Like 真的吗? Like, oh, really? And that's a pretty useful phrase. I mean,
I can do the slang version in Japanese.
What's the slang version of that?
Honmakai na.
Wakaina.
Honmakai na. It's Osaka style, Kansai style.
Oh, wow, okay. That means the same thing.
Yeah, honmi.
Okay.
It's Honmakai na.
Yeah. Oh, going back to porn. That's there's some
Bukake? I don't know. We're talking about
there's bukake. There's like, dude, talk about perfection, right? Like the Japanese, they've perfected the weirdest.
Stuff,
they've perfected the weirdest.
I wish I knew
fetishes.
Japanese so I could watch.
Yeah,
like Japanese ones.
I mean, and like who would have think of like, bukake or like and
dude, that's why I can't watch animes subbed because like their voices and when like they scream and stuff, kind of just sounds like a Japanese.
Or they or like they like okay, so here's some Japanese phrases I've learned, and you can probably tell where I've learned it from. Oh, jigaya, or like yamete, or they say, or like
I think you learned that in a Japanese church.
Yeah, or oh kimochi, like
don't close your eyes when you do it.
I'm sorry.
Stop getting so into it when you say it.
So this is why I stopped. I had to stop watching
I feel it.
because it just when I'm real talk. I meet a Japanese girl. When I was deep into Japanese porn, I meet a Japanese girl. I'm like, I get weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I get flashed. I get weird. Yeah. So, anyways,
it's kind of like because like you shouldn't be doing it, even though like it's not really like everyone does it.
Yeah.
But then like in your head, you're kind of like, man, I hope like nobody here knows that like I like jacked off today or something.
Yeah.
Like I jacked like 10 minutes before like.
Yeah,
just finished. You know what I mean?
Thing. It's totally a Western thing. Japanese people have no like issues about it. I mean, you read Aziz Ansari's Modern Romance. It's like no big deal.
Yeah.
Oh, watching porn or what or
watching porn, anything like sexual in nature. I mean, they you could get like
like in Germany, like their posters and stuff can have like full nudity.
Oh wow.
Or maybe not full nudity, but like nudity,
Huh.
But like you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like like just like those kind of topics are like so different in other cultures.
Maybe it's because of our America's puritanical past, I guess.
Yeah.
Any phrases for you, Aaron?
Yeah. Okay. So, I want to say this phrase because I want to see what you guys think of it, and because I'll tell you how I thought of it. But my phrase is Magulang. Magulang. Like what kind of like emotions or thoughts does that evoke when you hear it? Magulang.
Sounds kind of sad.
Yeah, right? Like it sounds heavy.
Yeah.
You know what it means?
What does it mean?
It means parents. Yeah, dude. Like I was sitting down one time and I was like, hey, how do you guys say parents in Tagalog? And then they were like, Magulang. And I was like, yo, that sounds so like heavy.
Heavy, dude.
And like when I heard it, it swings like I'm like, that sounds so, and just like, you know what I mean? Like that's just, which maybe makes sense because like to be a parent, it's kind of heavy.
Dan, you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, all these. I worry about fucking up my kids all the time.
Yeah, dude.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Like you know, like for me and James, like if like you know, like we hear something like that happened like in Vegas, right? And we're just kind of like, man, that really sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
But like I'm sure like parents like they hear like, fuck, what if my kid was there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, does that happen to you?
Well, oh yeah, but the thing is, my really good friend Eddie, we've talked to him on this podcast. His stepdaughter was there.
Oh shit!
So he probably
And the guy next to her got shot in the neck.
Oh
damn.
my gosh!
Yeah, he flew out, you know, that night or that day, and then to go pick her up.
Yeah, see, it's just like a constant like. See, it's so heavy,
It's
dude.
heavy, dude.
To be a parent is heavy. Magulang.
To be a parent, it's heavy stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much, Aaron. Dude,
Yeah,
that's
no problem.
this maybe our longest podcast ever. I think.
Yeah.
But good. There's some good stuff in here, kids.
Yeah.
Listen, there's some good stuff in
At
here.
the end, just so you know, there's
There's
some good stuff.
See, for all our hardcore listeners that stayed to us to the end, I hopefully you gained something from that.
Yeah.
I did. I learned something.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Okay. All right. So this is Dan. Any last words?
Nope, that's it.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, Dan, why don't you sign out first for us, please? Yeah.
This is Dan Yin signing off.
Yeah, Dan. This is Young, aka James, signing off.
This is Aaron, aka Fish, aka the Koi, signing off.
All right. We love you and thank you. Bye.
All right, peace.
Bye.
Peace.